All right. Welcome, you guys. Happy New Year's. Woohoo! It is the new year. And I do not know about you guys, but 2023 has a completely different energy than the last few years have had, at least for me. I'm actually excited about a new year, and that hasn't happened since I don't even know, definitely before COVID, even. So, in case you don't know me, my name is Donna Salemink. I'm a certified facilitator with Access Consciousness. I am also a massage therapist and energetic body worker in uh, practicing mostly in Loveland, Colorado, which isn't that the best name? Loveland, Colorado. It's just so great. So some of you guys have found me in all kinds of different ways, and I love that. I'm like, some people just found me looking around, strolling on the Access Consciousness website. Some of you guys have been clients, and so who knows? And I actually have no idea where we're going to go in this particular Zoom, because as with everything consciousness, it's always an adventure, and it's always a creation based on the energetics of you guys who show up, and then all the people that will be watching this in the future too. But really, this sprung out of, well, first of all, let me preface by telling you guys that I've been an Access Consciousness Bars facilitator for like 10 years, more than 10 years now. So I've been teaching people what the bars points are, and for a long time. And I was doing a class recently, and the one of the people was like, "What are the bars?" and had all these questions about it. So I hope she made it. I don't think I see her on this one, but hopefully she'll get the replay. And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, I'm always telling people, "Come get your bars run." And I do a for all of my clients at my massage business, they get a complimentary bar session for their birthday, and a lot of them are like, "We don't even know what this is," and they come in, like, some of them will do it. I'd say it's like a third of my clients will come in and receive the bars, and I was like, well, they probably have lots of questions too, and so that's really what this came out of. So, without further ado, I would love to hear, like, if you guys have questions, if you have stories, like, I have no, like, maybe introduce yourselves if you'd like. I would like to hear a little bit about you guys, and like, what is it that you guys would like to know in this particular Zoom? But definitely don't all jump in at once.
I can go.
Thanks, Amanda.
You're welcome. So I was actually, I also teach bars. So I came here because I was like, how do you describe it? Because when people ask me, I go, oh, it's sort of like this. And so I'm actually here because I'm very curious about how you, as a facilitator, describe what it is. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, cool. I'll actually jump in and speak to that first, and then we'll go on from there. But before that, Amanda, where remind me of where you are again, in case anybody that listens to this is looking for a facilitator in your area. Where are you?
Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison, Wisconsin, but then sometimes you're in the Longmont area too, doing classes. And you know, a lot of access facilitators will facilitate pretty much anywhere. So we'll bounce around the country, around the world, to share the tools and processes of access consciousness. So, you are, Amanda, are you on the access site? Do you have a
Yes.
profile? Okay, great. So you can find her, Amanda Barlow. Um, the way I talk about bars is completely different with each and every person that I talk to about it, because it's really, I try to speak to what they're interested in. You know what I mean? Like, I've been doing access for a long time, so I have tons of information, but it's like, you know, trying to give somebody the ocean through a little tiny Starbucks coffee straw is not really useful. So I just try to speak to what people are interested in. I really don't push bars on people. I offer it, I invite people to it, but then it's like, if they're not into it, they're not. It's Bars are not actually for everyone. I've noticed, like, some people really are, it's like not their thing. So it completely varies. I do ask, and we can catch up later, because I actually have a clearing that I run, Amanda, for that, to help me have the right words for it. But that's a little more advanced than just an intro call. But if you just message me, I'm happy to share with you that clearing, which helps me a ton. So does that help, or do you have more question about it? Or
No, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I agree. I think that some people like yes, just they don't even know what it is, but they want it. And then
Mhm.
other people go, oh no, no, and they just look at you like you're a weirdo. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as a massage therapist and energetic body worker, all of my sessions are so different. I really do my best to try and follow the energy of the person that I'm working with. So some people are like, want to talk about everything. They're like, let's talk about ghosts and energy. And I'm like, yes, that's exciting to me. And other people just want to melt and be totally quiet. And I feel like it's really unkind to not be present with the people that I work with and what it is that they're asking. I think that's the best way that you can talk about anything and be like a good person in the world, right? Just be present with what people are really asking, you know? So let's see.
Can I just say a huge shout out to you because you are incredible. I've had a couple of sessions with you and you do follow the energy and they are off the charts. So I
Oh,
can just say, yay, go, Donna.
thank you, Amanda. Right back at you. It's like you can receive what you can be. That's just the kind of the way it works. So yeah, thank you for the acknowledgement. I appreciate that, and yes, I do my best to be present with people. And it's always a gift when you have somebody that can receive that and somebody who will gift right back. So I will say that this about the bars are. I guess I'll give you like a little bit of a pragmatic. Bars are 32 points on the head that store basically the energy, and I don't mean energy like woo woo, I mean like energy, like lightning, like electricity. They store the electricity of all the things that limit you in your life. You could think of it like you know how dogs can or horses can have an electrical fence, and then you can take the electric fence down but they still don't necessarily move out of that. The bars are basically like the electrical fence for the things in your life that you want to overcome or get past, but you can't. So when somebody touches those points, they're very specific. You learn them in an Access Bars class. So they're very specific points. When somebody just touches them lightly and holds them, the actual electricity dissipates, goes away, it discharges so that you actually have more space and you actually can access the parts of you, the consciousness of you that's far beyond limitations. And you stop feeling like you're going to get zapped every time you do something. Like you stop necessarily having like the freak out of judgment. It can help with PTSD, trauma. It's sort of a miracle. To me, it's the miracle modality. And I'm a massage therapist, but I definitely get my bars run a heck of a lot more than I get massages, because sometimes massage will actually lock things into my body. Bars always dissipates and gives it space every single time. So that's the pragmatics of bars. And then Leslie is saying, I have a friend who's a bars facilitator and is about to teach a class. I'd like the overview before I sign up. Intuitive healer looking to add another amazing modality to offer my clients. That's awesome. Yeah. So basically the overview in a bars class is you come in and you watch a little video and you get to know the founders of Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here, and they sort of overview the 32 points where they are. You get a manual, and the manual has the basic tools of Access Consciousness, which are anything but basic. They're life-changing, dynamic, amazing things. And then you spend the whole rest of the day gifting and receiving bars. So you get to lay on the table and get your bars run twice, so you get to feel where those points are, and then you practice and learn what the points are twice. So you get partnered up 2 times during the day. Usually you have a nice lunch. You get to network with other people. Most people that come to Access Consciousness are like you. They're into energy healing. They're into, they're interested in consciousness in some way or another. So when I first started doing Access, I was teaching at a psychic center. I was channeling, and I was into like the metaphysical world. I was also a school teacher, an English teacher who was like a poet, and also I had these two sort of separate lives. I didn't tell anybody about the metaphysical stuff I was in. I kept them very separate. And then I found Access, and it was like metaphysics on steroids. It's just I would do past life readings, and then I found Access, and I was like, I can just run their bars, and it blows all the energy of that. I don't have to get into the description, although sometimes I get lots of information, and people who are interested in hearing stories, I get to share that with them too. So that's kind of my own personal experience with that. Um, Neurovascular acupressure points that correlate to meridians and issues, and they match the bars points. A lot of people ask me that, is this like acupressure or acupuncture? I personally really try to keep the modalities clear. So when I'm doing access bars, I make sure people know this is access bars. And I would also say that each one of you and myself too are a completely different energy, and we're a completely different gift. And all of everything that you are, everything that you know about acupressure, all the other modalities that you use really create you as a being. And the gift of bars is that you as the being get to be present and gifting all of your awareness. Um so yeah, do you have, Leslie, does that give you kind of a sense of what the class is, or do you have other questions about like what goes on in an access bars class? And you could just type it in if you do. Um, what else do you guys want to know? Or what else is coming up for you guys? What other curiosities do you have? Who are you guys?
Can you run the bars on yourself?
You can. Yep. So you learn the points. We always say that it's a lot more dynamic when you work with someone, and I'll talk about why that is in just a minute. But you can run them on yourselves, and I frankly do not know how anybody has survived COVID without having bars, because when I've been insane or the world has been in so much freak out, I will just lay down and run my own bars, sometimes for hours. Like if I can't sleep at night, I will run my own bars. I am particularly lucky to live here in Colorado, where there are lots of access bars practitioners all over the state. And so we have a pretty, I mean, it kind of died down during COVID. People just weren't out as much, but everybody's sort of emerging again. And so there's lots of people to trade with. I have lived in other parts of the country where it's less fortunate. There's not as many people to trade with. So one of the reasons I love facilitating is I would like to see that grow. I would like to see more facilitators actually in my area, so that we can have bigger trades and more people to get together with. So the benefit of trading bars with other people is that basically every time you exchange with somebody, well, first of all, whenever you give a bar session, you get to receive a session. So it's not like when I massage, I receive, but I'm also working. Like it's kind of difficult on my body. When I give a bar session, it's like when somebody's bars turn on, so do mine. And basically anytime, anywhere we have like matching energy, or lifetimes that we've had together, when we run bars, that stuff gets to dissipate for both of us. So it's super dynamic to have somebody else run your bars. Like when I first started Access, we would talk about like if you walk into a room and you really love a person or you really hate that person, even if you've never met them, that's a good person to trade with, because you will clear lots of energies from all kinds of different lifetimes. So what I would say about that is the bars are so dynamic that yes, run them on yourselves. Yes, run them with other people. Just run them. My life has changed so much since I started doing bars. So does that help or?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So just, I guess, jump in if you have a question or raise your hand or whatever. But I will talk about how I discovered bars. Like I said, I was teaching high school English, a single mom. I had two teenagers at the time, and I was doing metaphysical stuff. I was very perfect. I did yoga, Bikram yoga, first at 5 a.m. every day, and I didn't drink. No, I did not. Everything healthy, everything perfect. And I was at this point in my life in like my mid 30s, late 30s, where I was like, wow, I did everything right. I eat right, I do the right exercise, I have the right degrees, drive the right car, I live in the right neighborhood. And I still don't feel satisfied. And then enter like shortly after that, I was like, I watched one of my friends started doing Access, and I was like, bars, that sounds so stupid. I was very judgmental of her for a long time. But I watched her life get amazing. She started like traveling and she was happy and she was just kind of doing whatever she wanted. And I was like, how is that a result from this dumb thing called Access Bars that you keep talking about? And so she was a friend and she became a bars facilitator. And I was like, I'm not paying her. And the class was a lot cheaper than it is now. But I was like, I'm not paying her. And that's too much money. And I can't afford that. And my job got harder. My life got way harder and hers got so much easier that I finally caved and said, fine, I'll do this dumb thing called bars. And it was my son's 15th birthday and he came with me because it was in Denver and we were going to see a lacrosse game and have dinner together that night. And at the end of the day, I was like so happy and colors were so much brighter and I felt alive like a 7-year-old in ways that I hadn't felt for a long time. And I was baffled because I was like, how somebody was just touching my head. Somebody I didn't even know. They weren't even like doing anything to me. And I just felt so happy and so joyful. So I was like hooked. After that, I was like, whatever this is, I don't even know what it is, but I want more of it. And I've been playing with the tools of access consciousness and getting my bars run pretty regularly since then. Now, for me, I hadn't even at that time, I never went anywhere without family. So my range of life at that point had been like around Colorado to Missouri to California. That's like as far as that's as big as my life had been at the time. And then I jumped into Access and it was like someone dropped a chaos bomb and all of a sudden I had a passport and then I was in Venice and I was in Canada and I was in Costa Rica and I was like, these are things that I didn't think were possible for me. I was a single mom. Like I couldn't afford, and I would say that access consciousness is about stepping you into accessing the consciousness of you, which is a lot more magical than you maybe know right this minute. And the bars don't make sense because it's just somebody touching your head, but somehow it unlocks all these places that you've been limiting you so that you can have a greater life, if that's something that you desire. So that's a little bit about my story. What else do you guys want to know pragmatically or even not pragmatically about the bars? Go ahead.
Can you run it too often?
You cannot run bars too much. And the more you do it, for me, every time I've really like, sometimes my life will get difficult and I'll be like, wait a second. The motto of Access Consciousness, our mantra is all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. And there's been times over the last 10 years where I sort of bump up against difficulties and I'm like, wait, ease, this is not ease. And then I'll go, oh yeah, I haven't been getting my bars run. Whatever it takes, like if I have to drive to the western slope of Colorado and I will just go on like these bars benders and I'm like, wait, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be working or I should be something like this is taking too much space. And then every time I do that, my life changes. I've had 6-hour bars sessions before. I've done bars in hot tubs. You can watch TV and run bars. I've run bars in the park on the grass. You can't do it wrong. You can't do it in the wrong place. And I've had bars run like, well, the luxuriousness of a bars class where you get them run twice and you get to run them twice is amazing. So I've taken lots of bars classes too, because it's just luxurious to get a full day of change. So that's a really good question. I like it. Let's see here. Socrates is asking, it's about that dynamic aspect I'd like to ask. When you are receiving a bar session, you don't know practically what will replace the energy being dissipated. So yes, I guess I would say, I don't know if I'm totally clear about your question, but I'm going to try to speak to it. So you never know exactly what's going to show up for people after they get their bars run. So if I'm running bars on somebody, I'm just being present with them and I'm like, I have no idea what's going to change in this person's life. And I've seen amazing things happen over the course of years with people, I've noticed things change for people that they don't even notice because it's like so subtle or so dynamic and they don't attribute it to bars. But I know what it is. I'm like, oh, that's from that bar session. Um, so when you run bars, it's different than most other modalities because you're not actually doing something. You're not actually replacing an energy. Like Reiki, if you're familiar, is where you're actually doing something. Like bars, I think a lot of people miss this part of it. It's too easy. It's so easy that we're not used to it because we've had lives that we've been taught that hard work matters. And when you run bars, you literally are holding these points. You're not filling people with energy. You don't have to fill them with a golden light. You don't have to, like in the psychic work I used to do, you have to put a grounding cord and you have to get your chakra, your aura bubble all like clean, and you had to sage, and you had to like, get in a meditative position to like really clear your energy and like make sure you don't bring any negativity to the session, and like get your guides. There was like a lot of stuff to do to sort of to be ready. Bars is very different. There's no being ready. Sometimes I've had the best sessions when I've been an absolute nightmare and I just show up anyway. So you're not doing anything to anyone. And I have had people run my bars and like try to, I don't know, do myofascial release or add other things to it. And it's, to me, it's really annoying. I'm like, yes, I love myofascial release. Please, I love scalp massage. Let's do that another time. Right now, I just want my bars run. Um, so it's like, it's so easy. You don't actually have to do anything to anybody. I was going to say something else about that, like the ease, the subtlety of it. But the train left the station and I didn't come with it. So maybe it'll come back to me. Socrates, I hope that answers your question. If not, you can chat some more. Let me know. Leslie's asking, can I charge clients after my first Access Bars class? Or do I have to become a facilitator? No, you are officially an Access Bars practitioner after your first class. And you get to start to create whatever access business that you would like after that. Mind you, you got to see what the laws are and know about the local, like how all that stuff goes. And for me, that was a big learning curve because I was trained as an English teacher. I didn't know anything about business. The good news is Access has taught me more than most people know about. I actually was thinking this morning, I was like, wow, I should offer business mentoring. Like I know so much about business, and that's in large part uh due to so many tools delivered with Access. So like you are a bars practitioner immediately. I think you have to keep that status, you probably have to take some kind of class after the first year. And you get to charge whatever you want in sessions. For me, I was not a body worker at all. I was quite uncomfortable touching bodies, which I'm a massage therapist now. So that goes to show you how much change has taken place for me. But I was like, I just learned this new thing. Can I practice on you? I just practiced on anybody that would let me. I looked for anybody that would trade with me. I learned the clearing statement, which I'm not going to go over in this class, but you do get it in the bars class. And I think I just did it for tips. Other people where I am in Colorado, there's a lot of advanced access consciousness practitioners, I'd say, like a lot of facilitators and maestros, and a lot of people who have been doing access for a very long time. Some people charge like $500 or $1,000 for their bar sessions. Some people charge nothing. Some people do it for tips. Some people do. There is no right way. And I would say that as you play with your running bars, see what's fun for you, see what creates more for you and for the people that you're working with, and it's going to be different for each and every one of us. So and then a note about becoming a facilitator, like after you take your first bars class, if you decide that you'd like to be a facilitator, you have to take 2 more classes with 2 different facilitators and then apply, and then you can become a bars facilitator. You get tons of business resources, and then you get to facilitate the class and get paid. Like it's pretty awesome deal. Like it's a sweet deal, really. And I don't think you don't even pay royalties on bars classes. So all the income is totally yours. It's a fabulous income stream. It's easeful, it's fun, it's life-changing, and I say go for it. So is there a time for each session, or do you intuit the amount of time to hold each point? So yes and yes. In the bars class, you basically practice, at least the way I facilitate it. Maybe other people do it differently. I facilitate it with like an hour session because that's sort of typical. Like when you go to, if you go after your bars practitioner, if you want to go to an exchange, which we have all over the world, and you want to meet with other practitioners, usually it's an hour per person, right? So like you run somebody's bars for an hour, they run yours for an hour, and then so it's usually a 2 to 3 hours when you do like a group exchange, because there's usually people like to have drinks and chat in between. I offer bars in my massage business, and I offer it in half hour, hour, and 90-minute sessions. So um that having been said, in the bars class you learn what they are, and then really it's kind of up to you. Like you can do, I've done all kinds of things. Like I've done 20-minute tasters at like metaphysical fairs. I have done, when you run bars, oftentimes like 99% of the time, if you run bars on children and like highly autistic people, they're fast. And so it's like torture to try to do a kid's bars for an hour. Like they will murder you. So sometimes 10 minutes is plenty. So you do have to intuit. You can run them in different order. Like we teach it in kind of a particular order. You can mix and match different bars if you want. Like I had a friend who was a stripper, and she always wanted, there's a bar that holds your money, your points of view about money. And then there's some that hold your points of view about body and sexuality. So she wanted those run as a combo, and it always made her business blossom. So yeah, there's lots of different ways and amounts, and it is like, it is, for me, learning the bars was the beginning of really learning to follow the energy more dynamically than I ever had before, like with a body, which I do in my massages now. Just follow the energy. Like the body talks to me, the bars will let you know, the being will let you know how they like their bars run. So that's a really, you guys are asking like such great questions. I love it. Um, what else? I would invite you guys to, if you have never had your bars run, I would certainly invite you to find, you can go on the Access Consciousness site and look up practitioners in your area. And you can just feel around for what people's rates are and find a person. Like I would say, like even just look at names and go for what feels, like you'll just know it'll have an energetic match for you to work with somebody. So just like maybe go on the website, try get your bars run and get a sense of what it's like for you. Or if you're called to like jump into a class, then absolutely. And I would definitely love to see more facilitators hanging around on the planet, and growing the possibilities for conscious embodiment, really. But if you guys don't have any other questions, then I don't want to keep you all on your New Year's Day. I should have had champagne and told everyone to have champagne too. But is there anything else that I can help you guys with, or that you want to know about the Access bars? All right. Well, you have my contact information, so please message me in all the myriad of, find me on Facebook, all the trillions of ways to get in touch. If you do have questions, please, I am happy to help. It is one of my most favorite things to do is to talk about bars, to play with bars, to run bars. If you want to grow an Access business, message me. I am happy to help you guys. And Happy New Year's. Have a great day, and we'll see you guys hopefully sometime in person down the road. Bye.